Look at what happened. What happened in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. They didn't need to go to the BRICS. They simply came together and say, "Look, now we're going to build our defensive force, and we're going to lock our land." So first of all, we need to unite ourselves, because make no mistake about it, the Russians, they're not our friends.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinese, they're not our friends.
Got no friends.
We ain't got no friends, as the great Professor John Eric Clark says. Black men all over the world, we ain't got no friends. First of all, we need to ally ourselves. We need to strengthen ourselves. Then we can call Russians on the table to say, you know what? We need your weapons. Because at the end of the day, we're the most fearless and powerful machine that God ever created. We don't need the Russians to fight our war
at all.
We need their technology, their heavy arsenal. That's all we need. So we can just call them and say, you know what? Give us the training. We exchange with our goals. Give us all the weapon that you have. That's all we need to do. Give us the weapon.
Do business.
It's all about business. That's it.
That's right.
So that's why now since you brought up a Wagner Group, that's why Wagner Group are doing in Africa right now. Wagner Group, it's they basically an extension of the Russian army. They're so-called mercenaries. Go out there and fight people's war. So they are now training a lot of military systems in Africa. They empowered even Burkina Faso. Look, Burkina Faso is actually request a lot of weapons from Russia. Angola, all of these countries in the southern region of Africa, Russia and Cuba used to provide them with a lot of weapons to fight Europeans. So we as African, we don't need outsiders to fight our war. There's so many warriors in the United States that already been in the military system over there. Yeah. If these presidents of Africa are intelligent, they can make a worldwide call to say, you know what? Anybody that wants to come to Africa, more than welcome.
They can fight with happen. They can make that happen. Power can get in touch with power and make business happen where, hey man, look, blah, blah, blah. But you know, people really need a heart check and really need a gut check, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are accustomed to the lifestyles that they have over here in America. You know what I'm saying? They're very comfortable, right? A lot of people feel the pain of others when like tragedies happen, like police killings and all types of shit like that, right? But in a lot of ways, if it ain't on their doorstep, they don't really give a damn about it, man. So the hard part is really trying to break that padlock off of everybody's mind. And I know I spend my time like you do trying to educate as much as you can, right? So that education will fill you up and give you some type of pride in us. You ain't gonna defend nothing that you don't believe in or that you ain't got pride in. If you don't know anything about yourself, then we just gonna keep on doing this every time something happens.
No, but what I'm saying, my brother, to change, to touch people's spirits, you first have to educate the people, and the people have to be willing to receive that education.
Right.
So what you see and what you hear can manifest in your body, in your daily life. This conversation that we're having here today is a starting point. Once people decide to take action, once people decide to challenge themselves, because we can be here talking every week, but if people not willing to take the step,
we're wasting time.
We're wasting our time.
We're wasting time. Ain't nobody ready to make a motherfucking sacrifice.
Exactly.
That's what it come with. And that might come with losing the very breath in your lungs. But how bad do you want to see a change amongst us?
Exactly. So that's why, brother.
Damn easy.
We,
Go get the fuck out of the way if you ain't on that type of time.
that's why we say mobilize, organize, and strategize. You mobilize the people, organize yourself, and strategize in order to put boots on the ground and act on it, on your strategy. That's why, brother, we today, and then as with your listeners and your followers, for me, the biggest focus of this show is to awaken the revolutionary military mindset in you, because and that's why I know we're going to be talking about that. That's what Grandmaster Jay did so beautifully, the Supreme Commander of the NFAC.
That's right.
He managed to infuse the revolutionary mindset within our people worldwide. Because once you understand military tactics, military strategy, then this is the first step for you to build your own land. That's what the Europeans did. They came to Africa, they brought their mercenaries, they occupied our land, and they implement their system of government. Because once you occupy the land, then you do anything in your land. You build your economic system, you build your political system, you build your infrastructure, you build your businesses, you build your communication systems, you build your food supply systems, you produce, you focus on farming, land. But we have to understand this. That's when this the sovereignty mindset kicks in. Now we have the land. What are we going to do with the land? Or we're going to build this, we're going to build that. And we as Africans here in diaspora, we are guests in their system. I repeat, we are guests in their systems. GUEST. We are guests. And that's why, if you remember, although it was kind of, because the American government picked up already, because Grandmaster Jay was one of the very few leaders that began to challenge the United States government to say, you know what, you better curve something for us, or we're going to leave. We're going to build our nation. Because we as African, we have to start study sovereignty. Control your land and build your infrastructure. Or even control your community and build your infrastructure in your community. And our ancestors, they understood so beautifully. That's why we had Tulsa, Oklahoma. We had our banks. We had our economic system there. We had our little hospitals there, our churches. We had everything there. But then Dr. King came with his idea of all integration, of we are one.
We shall overcome.
Exactly. So he dragged a lot of people.
Yeah.
But later on in his life, he realized he made a mistake. That's why you say, I've integrated my people into what?
A burning house.
Exactly. While Malcolm X was saying, nah, let's build for us. Let's do for ourselves. if we had listened then, Malcolm X, maybe we will be very ahead of our game.
You know what's crazy? You mentioned Tulsa, brother. You know, it's people that live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that never even learn about the history of what happened in Tulsa until they enlist in university like Oklahoma State University. And then they end up taking an African American studies class or something like that, and they learn about it, and they've been living there the whole time, completely unaware.
No, absolutely. Just like in Africa, there's a lot of brothers and sisters that born, raised in Africa, and we don't know about our history because remember they colonized our history. They colonized the system. That's what they call the worldwide curriculum system.
That's right.
This worldwide curriculum system is there in Africa. We learn their kings, their queens. They don't teach about queens and kings.
Period.
So that's why even in Africa, our people does not know about their history, our history. They don't know anything about United States history, the black history. They don't know. So that's why having this conversation is so your viewers can look at me and say, damn, this brother knows a lot what's going on out there, what's
Straight up.
going on over here. Why? Because I studied. I went out there in the United States. I took time to study the history there deeply to the point that I know a lot that some people they're probably born in us, they don't even know. And then I've combined the history from the continent to the Caribbeans to the North and South America. That's when I realized in order for us to free ourselves, we must need to unite globally.
Big time.
That's the only way because you can free Congo, but if Angola is on fire, it means nothing. It's nothing. So we have to free our mind, our body, our spirit worldwide.
Mm.
And that's why talking about Congo, bringing back Congo into the conversation. Right now, we need you to speak up. We need you to create the awareness about Congo. There's genocide that is happening there that they don't want you to know. So the America, the European Union, they financing terrorists to destabilize that region in order to control the resources. And that's why I'm here to tell you that we must need to unite and let the American government know that look, we already know what's going on. Stop funding all these terrorists in Africa. Because ultimately, if African thriving, if everything beautiful in Africa, one day you might want to say, look, let's go just see what's going on in Africa. And then you never know. You might go say, I'll stay here. I'm not going back there. You never know. Because remember, the American government, European Union, they create a lot of genocides all over the world. That the genocide, the war will come to their doorsteps. And the ones going to come to their doorsteps, they're going to push us to fight their war like we did it in the First World War.
Hmm.
So we need to be ready if any shit goes down in the United States or in Europe. We need to be prepared to leave. To say, this is your war, you handle yourself, we're out.
Straight up. And that's the importance, like the last conversation we had when you was like, the importance of reconnecting with our African family and coming back home to purchase land just in case some fuck shit go on where we need to get the hell up and get ghosts.
Exactly, because that's why you can you can have your life in the United States, money, car, everything, even all these celebrities, you still live under their system
Mm-hmm.
in any given time. All these Jay-Z, Beyonce, Flo Money Mayweather, 50 Cent, all of them, in any given time, they could just come and say, we're going to take everything from you, period. We're going to leave
Hey,
you with nothing.
this is like the game of Monopoly, man. Like the more space we occupy as a nation, as a people, right, the more power and strength we have on control of the land. If we own all the land, we run the land.
Exactly. Because even in America, there's lands, there's land over there. So imagine once you control the land, you build your system. But my biggest worry about building your own land in America, it's one, brother. The, the Europeans, they're always going to control two things: the economic power and the military power. Because they know you can have your land. Okay, great. We build your house, you build your little city, you build everything. Okay, that's fine. But if they wake up and pissed off with you, envy with your success, they can just they control the airspace. You not. They can simply just you know launch any missile
Boom.
and explode everything your land
Yep.
to everything that is your land. But guess what? If you begin to develop a relationship with the African continent, help us to build, to empower our governments, and then our government become completely independent of them. You have your land, you do your thing. They can never come invade your or even send a missile in your land
See,
because that's an act of war.
this is important what you're saying, brother. You said earlier that they stole the great minds and brought us here. You're saying come back home, make a connection with your family, help us to understand how they operate so we can top this all together across the line.
Absolutely. And we have to understand this, brother. There's like maybe like 50 or 40% of the brilliant mind that they took from Africa are in the United States
Mm.
and in Caribbean, are in the North, like the United States, which is North America, Central America, and South America, and then in the Caribbean as well. Our great brilliant mind. They are in Jamaica, Barbados, St. Kitts, St. Lucian, Trinidad, Panama, Brazil, United States. So they shipped all of our great brilliant mind over there, and those ancestors became you. Although some of our ancestors they were already there.
Yeah.
So now, because they haven't discovered anything, so all this Christopher Colombo, all this is just nonsense that we don't. So once you understand this, you'll be like, okay, they established their system of governance. They, whether in Brazil, even in Jamaica, they established their system, the so-called white supremacy system. This so-called because I don't believe in it. They're not supreme to us.
At all.
So, but they established their system. So whenever you speak, whenever you say something, they're just gonna get rid of you.
Mm.
Simple. That's why they assassinated all of our great leaders, like Malcolm X, even Dr. King. They assassinated all of our great leaders. Although some of them are more radical than the other on the good sense, but they most of our leaders they clearly assassinated, use our people to do it, to do the dirty job.
That's right. Snakes.
Yeah. So that being said, brother, building a connection with the motherland, with the Akabu land, is to secure your future, the future of your children and your grandchildren. Because Europe is collapsing, America is collapsing,
Mm-hmm.
and they even know that. They know it is collapsing. That's why a lot of them they got massive houses in Africa. They know. So only we as African that okay, yeah, I was born in the United States, so I'll stay here. I'm not going anywhere. That's why you see like brothers in UK, yeah, but you go in the Caribbean, you go in the United States, Brazil, there are very few brothers and sisters that take the challenge to say, look, I'm going to the continent. Now it's actually changing because we got a lot of brothers now are going to the continent and actually establish, stay in the continent and live really good life than actually they used to live in the United States.
Right, right. You know
So
what? It's got a lot to do with the imagery that they